Hello, I'm Mark,
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
and today we're going to talk a little bit about something in my neck of the woods, some sales in Quebec that have dropped dramatically, but there are a few things that have gone into that, and we'll get into those details after we roll the title card.
Let's try something else.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. Got my friends Patrick and Casey with me. We're going to talk a little bit about this article, which we'll link below in the notes. It turns out that the province of Quebec, which has been a strong seller of EVs in Canada, Quebec has a large amount of hydroelectric power. So they're a province that can certainly take advantage of it by having more EVs on the road. And they have traditionally sold a great amount of EVs, a healthy percentage. In fact, typically in Canada, they're the province that sells them the most or second most EVs, according to provinces, because they've got this abundance of electric power and they can fuel their vehicles. And they have been a strong proponent of Tesla. They've bought many, many Teslas. It's been a high amount that have been sold. But just this past quarter, the first quarter of 2025, we have seen a dramatic reduction in Tesla sales specifically. But some people have quickly grabbed its Elon because of his political connection, his comments on Canada, different things that he's done. But this is not the whole story. We've basically had an 85 to 90% reduction in sales in Q1 of 2025.
Wow.
So this is a significant amount that has disappeared this quarter. But what some media groups are not reporting on is that in addition to maybe Elon's comments, which I would say have made a dent in this, it's part of the issue. But other issues that some don't know about is that Quebec had a very healthy EV rebate program.
That's where I went first.
Where they were providing a basically a $8,000 on purchase discount on vehicles that the provincial government would pay the dealership for that purchase of an EV. And on top of that, the federal government here in Canada offered $5,000 on a car. So there was a $13,000 bonus for people buying a vehicle in Quebec.
Wow.
What happened recently, as of the end of 2024, was that the Quebec provincial rebate, again, $8,000, it was cut in half at the end of that year. So there was a rush for people to purchase vehicles to the end of 2024. And when the new year rang in, they noticed, maybe they noticed, but many people obviously were looking at the facts that, hey, the provincial rebate has been chopped in half. And eventually it will be eliminated altogether. But for this year, it's been chopped in half. But on top of that, the federal credit ran out of money at the beginning of the year. So the funds allocated for that dried up, and that disappeared. So basically, the people in Quebec saw a huge reduction in the amount of rebates that were available for EVs at the scale of like $9,000 had disappeared. And that took a lot of people by either surprise or they knew it was coming and decided that, okay, now it's time to wait maybe. Let's see what happens. We believe the federal rebate will come back. It'll be refunded. But at this point, we should maybe pause and see if we can get that $5,000 back maybe later in the year. Maybe the federal government will top that up shortly. Let's not be too rash. So we've got a number of people that are sitting on the sideline because they've seen, one, the reduction in the provincial rebate and the disappearance of the federal rebate. And that's a healthy chunk of money that most are probably thinking, you know what? Let's just sit on the sidelines and see if this gets any better for us.
Right. Well, sitting on the sidelines is one option, but another one is pull forward. Like maybe they bought it in December because
Correct.
they saw this coming. And, that's what, if you've been saving up for that and you're close and that's going to go away, you do the Tesla stretch and you buy now.
Yep. That is absolutely correct. Many people would have known this was coming because, of course, they were saving for it. They understood what rebates were available, what the purchase price was going to be, and when they heard that, the provincial one is now going to change, we got to get off the fence now if we're going to do this, because we can save ourselves an extra $4,000 if we get involved with it before the end of the year. So that, of course, would dry up a number of first quarter sales because most have got involved with the vehicle pre New Year's. So
right.
that makes sense as well. So, but when you look at just the numbers, quarter one versus quarter one last year, the reduction of 90% starts sending alarm bells everywhere that we've got a serious issue going on. And we just wanted to shed the light on that it may not be as serious as we believed. Now, we recently here in Ontario, I would say recently, over the past, I would say 7 years, we went through a similar thing 7 years ago where our provincial EV rebate disappeared. The next quarter after the disappearance of the provincial rebate, we had a dramatic drop in EV sales across the board because, again, people knew it was going away and got involved with it before it did. And then there was a little bit of a lull where no one was buying because they already bought. And then as time went along, the sales started to tick up over quarter after quarter after quarter. Yes, they weren't as enthusiastic as they were previously because people were getting used to the idea that provincial credit was now gone and only the federal rebate was available to us. So we didn't have as many people involved with it as previous, but over a couple of years, that went away. People got used to the new standard. And of course, new people got interested in EVs and they were getting in line to buy one, not even realizing that previously there was a much larger credit available, which they, at this point couldn't enjoy at all because those years had been gone by. So,
right, yeah. If it's in the past and they weren't in the market, then they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever that was." But if it's the day before, all of a sudden, that feels really bad. But if it's ancient history, whatever.
Exactly. So it's kind of like the adage of time heals all wounds. So over time, people either forget about it or weren't involved with it at that point or weren't watching, and therefore it doesn't sting as much. But definitely. For the first quarter, 2 or 3 quarters, you're going to see a drop in sales because so many people got ahead of the curve, bought while the rebate was as big as it could be, and now they already own a vehicle. So many people, as Patrick mentioned, did the stretch where they actually purchased ahead of when they were planning on it, but in order to get the highest possible rebate, they chose that road. So Quebec is now in this model, and yes, we're going to see a number of quarters now that will be deflated based on what we saw previously. But again, just like Ontario, I believe that over the next couple of years, those values will start to tick up every quarter and we'll get back to normal. It's a temporary loss at this point, but then again, there was a temporary gain at the end of last year too.
Just like cash for clunkers. But without
cash for clunkers. Yeah.
Yep.
So another factor, you said Q1. So Q1 is when Juniper rolled out. And so all of Tesla's factories had to retool to go from the old Model Y to the new Model Y. And when you do something that big, the lines are down for a while, and then the lines start with the new vehicle, and you try to ramp it up as fast as you can. But when it's new, there's things that have to be figured out and kinks have to be worked out, and you can't just, go to high volume right away. I don't know how many vehicles were even sent to Canada during that time in Q1.
Yeah, I was going to say that in addition to the ramp up, the supply for Canada kept getting pushed all over the world, and they don't have their own gigafactory yet. So,
Right.
Yeah, we're getting vehicles from the U.S. We're getting vehicles from China. So there is a mixed bag depending on the vehicle that you're purchasing. But there could have been a backup of people waiting because, as mentioned, they were not up to scale on the most popular vehicle in the world, the Model Y. Over time, they of course have been picking up, and I would think that we're getting close to regular scale now that we're almost halfway through the year. But there are situations where people were waiting for the vehicle a little bit longer than they were hoping to. So that might have played into those Q1 shortfalls as well. So we had a number of things going on, kind of formed into a perfect storm that prevented the Tesla from selling traditional numbers. But I think that even with the addition, I know that in Ontario, which we only had the one option happen to us where the provincial rebate disappeared, I know that really caused a significant drop in sales. So I'm thinking that's probably the lion's share, but those other factors that we've mentioned certainly did combine to make it worse than what it could have been with just one of the factors.
Right.
But I'd like to ask the audience out there, is there anyone from Quebec that watches the show? And if so, what have you seen in the EV market with this change recently? Or if you're not in Quebec, what have you seen in your market when it comes to EV incentives, where it has one amount and then disappears or is lowered? What have you found in your market? It would be interesting to hear that from you out there individuals. And with that, I think we will wrap the show. Let's go to Casey for some shout outs at the end.
Catch us live on Wednesday.
That's coming up real quick, 7 p.m. Eastern, as always. Patrick, any shout outs from you?
Well, I hope there is a Tesla event this week. That'll be really cool if we see one on the 12th. We might do a special episode. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
Actually, at the time of recording, there hasn't been an official announcement from Tesla, but we're thinking that there should be. Maybe with time travel, it would have happened. But we're at this point of recording, we're not sure. So we're watching the news. If
the rumors are right, it's in 4 days, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All
right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. Press that subscribe button. It helps us out. And through the week, you can follow us on our X account at The Tesla Life to see updates as they come in. And with that, we'll get together next time and find out what's happening in the Tesla Life.